Welcome to Fury's YouTube channel. I'm Kiao, and today I'm going to be joined by Ronan, and we're just going to take you through some of the things that happened throughout PCS2, give you guys a little bit of a recap, and do a bit of a review. We're also going to be talking about some of the things that we are looking forward to changing up for our roster and our team moving forwards into PCS3. Hope you enjoy. Coming into PCS2, what were the expectations? Who were the teams you felt were the major threats?
Biggest threats that I thought were definitely Cerberus and Brew. Cerberus being, I know they're fraggers, they control so much of the zone, at least in their region. In their region, they came out strong, so that was scary.
And they obviously had a really good, PCS1 as well. They did really well. Even, though Hisaki obviously couldn't play, I think it was, half of the games. They still managed to smash it. Boomerang were, as strong as ever, though, I felt like. And so those expectations were met. They, were right behind us, most of the time. In fact, some parts are in front, so yeah.
Hisaki was the biggest fragger as well. He's
Yeah.
nutty. That kid's nutty.
So we did obviously Divine won, but we didn't necessarily peg them as anybody that we were worried about. But Boomerang and Cerberus were. One of them was, one of them wasn't this time around.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't worried about Divine, and I'm not for future events either. How do you think we went in week one?
I think it was a lot better of a start than we've had in any of the other PCS series. We got really lucky on the first day, I remember. We still played well. But then the next day, we didn't get so lucky, and we actually played really confident and good PUBG. So I think overall for a week one starting of the PCS events in history, we haven't done so well, so I was happy with this start.
I do remember that. We did get fed a lot on the night one, and we're like, okay, that's okay. We kind of didn't get the best results out of the games, and then the next day we had some really rough zones, and we still pulled through and had some. I don't know. I remember feeling very strong, like frag heavy. We were running and fragging.
Yeah.
That second day on bad circles, we're salvaging games.
It was very confident PUBG. Anything week two went?
Week two, we definitely didn't do anything flashy win-wise. We obviously didn't have a win, so we kind of just remained consistent. We continued to rack up those top 5 placements with kills and kind of crawled our way in there. And I think Divine got some wins, so they ran away with it a little bit in that second week. So after second week, we had to catch them.
Yeah, I think they were at the end of week two, they were 30 points in front. And, Boomerang were hot in our tails, Bay were hot in our tails, VTR were catching up as well, so it was a little bit sketchy there. However, 30 points, 8 games. Weren't too worried heading into week three, I don't think. After the first night, we caught up by exactly half of those 30 points that we needed. Caught up by, 15, so then heading into the last night, we needed another 15 points. I mean, it was a bit rough. Obviously, we got the exact same amount. Got another 15-point catch up, and then we were, obviously fell short in that tiebreaker.
Yeah, that was a really rough ending for us. Obviously, it's still a win in our books. It's the best placement we've ever had at a major tournament, but we're all not disappointed, but we wanted more. We definitely all wanted that first.
I feel like as well, if it were potentially Boomerang who were in first and then beat us, it wouldn't hurt as much. I feel like maybe the fact that it was Divine, I don't know, Divine just didn't feel like a strong team.
I think Divine struggle in too many aspects of the game for them to be consistent. After phase 3, they kind of, if they aren't in a good spot, they kind of don't know how to salvage the game. So they'll either have a really bad game or a really good game. They never make those 6 to 8 point games. They never get those points that just help. Whereas Brew know when to run around and frag, and they also know when to take up control. Brew, I reckon, are a very strong team, and I'm excited to see them in phase 3.
Pretty confident Brew didn't even have a 0-point game. They actually didn't have a 0-point game the whole tournament.
You sure?
Yep, 100%.
That's nuts.
That's insane. They didn't have a 0-point game the whole tournament. The team have made some changes moving into PCS3. What are your expectations around that?
So we obviously, as you guys probably know, we had replaced Jukesy with Flood. Before the tournament, Jukes actually made it pretty clear that either PCS 2 or 3 was going to be his last tournament. And that kind of made us, that got the ball rolling. We started thinking hey, who would replace Jukesy? and we kind of have a chat about it and decided it would be best if we started playing with a new fourth, knowing we would get the extra practice in for future events. With Flood joining the team, we know he will help a lot in the biggest aspect we struggled in the tournament, which is keeping 4 alive. So obviously we've played with Flood a lot over the last couple of years. We know his playstyle really well, and we think he's a very strong individual player, and that means he won't die. He will be very strong, and he will help us as a team stay up, survive, and close out games towards the end, and hopefully get some of those wins in PCS 3, which will push us into first place. Which teams in OS do you think are going to be the strongest since Astro have disbanded?
Yeah, so obviously in previous PCS tournaments, we've had 3 OS teams represent alongside us. So that's been Astra and Ferox, who no longer have PUBG teams. However, Carnage, who have joined us in PCS 1, are probably going to be looking at the favourites to take out, depending how many slots we get. For PCS 3, I think they've got a well-rounded roster now that they've added Sweet Soul to the team, and they're looking really scary. They have some experience behind them. They're probably going to have the fragging power behind them to push through any other team within OS quals. I don't necessarily see anybody challenging the spot against them. Okay. This is day 4. This is the last game, game 16 of the APAC PCS tournament. This was a really big turning point for us. We had a really big game here. Unfortunately, we couldn't close out the win in this one, but we're just going to walk you through with what happened and what was going through our heads, as it was a really fun game to watch and to play, I'm sure. So in this compound here, FTF and Divine are fighting just off in the distance. You can see us in the compound. We heard all this fighting happening and going on, and we noticed the FTF were getting some knocks.
So right now is where you will see me in the corner of the screen. I notice a few knocks on each side, and I say, hey guys, let's go for this. We should really go. So you've actually watched me pull up really early. I pull up really early to see if I can basically spot anyone trying to get a res, and I didn't actually know that they got all the flushes, but I was calling the team over, hey, let's come and fight this. It's Divine. We need to fight Divine. This is it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, because we knew that we were so far behind, and these guys, this was the 16th game. There wasn't many more games after this. This was our best opportunity to try and catch up to them. So we all crashed the compound as a 4-man and tried to take a 4v2. Went rather well. It worked out.
So there's a lot of learning points that we took from this game. For example, we know it's a 4v2. We know that we are wasting utility for no reason. We know, we learn a lot from this game. We get in their faces quick. They obviously got a knock there, and me and Jukes decided to just get in their face as fast as possible. Obviously can't go through that door. Jukes gets the knock, I get the trade. It actually worked out really well. So the biggest takeaway from that breach right there was, hey, we're wasting our util, we're all here, we're standing at the front, let's get in there right now and fight them.
Just overwhelming them with numbers. Alright guys, this is the last little bit of VOD review we're going to do. It is from the final day as well. This is the killer. This was the moment that, everybody was hanging out for. We were really excited for. We worked so hard for. This is the last game of the day. Divine are sitting at 188 points. We see them in the kill feed fighting Battle Arena Elite. And we know that one of them died, and we're like, awesome, this is our moment to catch up to them. So Ronin's going to take you through the beginning of this game, as it was a fun one.
So before this game started, we saw the plane. The plane was shocking. We knew Divine and Bay were going to jump on each other, and we were going to land 4 vehicles around where Brew were. Now, pause it here, Cal. So going into this game, me and Jukesy are flying towards Lipovka. We see 3 members of Brew landing really close to us to get a vehicle. Now, I saw one of the Brew members, he popped his chute a little bit too early, and I thought, Jukesy, I told him, I said, Jukesy, land at the warehouse, get any gun, and I'm going to pick you up and we're going to chase them. And Jukesy was right on it. He was just he was down. He was like, hell yeah, let's go for it. So we end up chasing Brew, this buggy, all the way from Lipovka. So we've been chasing them for a long time.
Yeah.
We finally catch up, and then Jukes is we're really close, and I say, Jukesy, get ready, I'm lining it up. So I go really straight so Jukesy can line it up, and he gets the knock. Really clutch. We kind of overextend a little bit here. I thought maybe, just maybe, I can spin him out. We didn't have the speed. We end up seeing the bike. We turn around. I knew that he would have a gun, but I thought if he stops, I can run him over. So we just went for a big dick play. Nearly worked out. We end up getting one member of Brew for free, and that just, it was hype. Our comms were hype. I'm sure Cowan inside
We were
was
feeling
shitting
it.
themselves.
We were worried. I know from my point of view, I was like, from the conversations, as soon as Jordan got the knock, he was screaming shit. He's like, take that! I can't remember what he said. I can't remember what it was. And then I heard the comms like, oh, we're going to run them, we're going to spin these guys out, get ready. And then I hear the, oh shit, I think he has a gun. That was the comm, and I lost it. I was like, okay, please just get out. Like, I don't even care if we don't get any of them right now. I just want my boys back home. But it worked out. So who am I to blame?
It was very hype, and it was very fun. It was a heart racer. My heart was definitely racing.
Good times. So in this scenario, we're shifting over towards phase 3. It's been a pretty hard Southwest Circle. We decided to just sort of send it. And I happen to have a couple of vehicles go past me, and they were shooting at my teammates, not at me. So I was very lucky to get Canaxia from Buriram, who we'd already killed previously in phase 1. And so we knew Buriram with 2 down, and we thought that was it. No longer much of a threat at all. We saw this in the kill feed, Divine fighting Magic Esports. Now this is where things got a little bit hectic, a little bit... We got really unsure of ourselves towards the later stages of the game because we didn't know how many points we had. I saw Diane getting lots of knocks here, and I actually thought he got a flush. For some reason, I thought he got a flush on a Magic Esports, and we thought they had 1 point out of this, and that we needed to get 189 to win the game. We didn't even think that we had the ability that if we drew to be on the same kill points as Divine. So which plays on to later in the game. So now that we've got only 2 up of Brew, we've seen Divine. We knew they were out. We didn't miss that. So we knew they were out of the game. We thought they might have had 1 kill, and it was just about keeping 4 up and then taking out a couple more extra points in this game. The only other thing as well, we wanted to make sure Buriram weren't going to stay around and say anymore, because if you look at the alive count, it's phase 3 and there was 34 alive. We thought 2 players of Brew could actually do a lot of work in this scenario. Things are getting really, really hectic as he's getting shot by literally everybody in the server at this point. Well, not everybody, but yeah, the DXG member up top was really scary. We tell him to go get some loot. There's like 3 bodies in here, as you remember. This was a tower, it's been pretty hectic. We say, go get some smokes because you're going to be rank tanking. Yeah, that was frustrating. That was really sad. So, I mean, we went back on into it, and when we realized that Divine didn't get any kills, we were like, holy shit, did we just win the tournament? Based off kill points. And unfortunately, we tied on kill points. Any extra kill at any point. And I know everybody who's going to watch this, we always, you can't help but think about the times that you could have gotten that extra point. But I mean, I think this tournament for us just came down to not closing out games that we should have. Getting those extra 4 points for the win, and obviously the kill points that come with it, is always going to be pretty monumental into whether or not you're going to dominate the tournament or not. We're happy with the performance we put in, I would say. But it's just about closing out those tournaments, keeping 4 alive. Heading into PCS 3, Ronan, how do you think we're going to go?
We are going to win a game.
A game? Just a game?
We're going to win a game.
Sounds like...
We're going to actually win a game this time.
Alright.
End the tournament.
Okay. That sounds good. I reckon if we win... Let's go. I reckon if we win any game...
For every game we win, Fury is buying me dinner. And it's KFC. They've said it. It's an agreed upon handshake deal.
Done. Sounds good.
Agreed to it by myself.
If we win the tournament, I get a high 5.